Hi guys, it's Meridy here with NJFB Boys Kit Club, and today I have instructions for the Delight Page Kit. And I'm going to tell you how to put this page together. I'm going to start off by telling you what you're going to get in your kit. The first thing that you're going to get is a set of fruit embellishment patches, like little crocheted type of patches with 6 different pieces. And you're going to get a set of Pink Fresh Life Right Now stickers. And it's a lot of stickers on there. There's all kinds of good ones. And then you're going to get a set of Simple Stories title bits from the Life Captured collection. And it's all different words. It comes with all the months of the year and all kinds of different words for all kinds of different things, such as details, dream, create, noted, yes, some hearts, life, hello, happiness, stuff like that. So those are the embellishments that you're going to get. And then you're also going to get the following papers. This Life Right Now Go With The Flow paper. And this is the B-side. And an Echo Park Dots and Stripes in medium blue. It's the dots, not stripes, obviously. Life Right Now Retail Therapy. It's cut aparts on one side. And this pattern on the back, and a piece of Simple Stories Pet Shop Cat, and it's called Catitude, but it really has nothing to do with cats. It's a rainbow print on one side and hearts on the other. And then 2 sheets of smooth white cardstock. And then you're going to also have a sheet of full color instructions, and on the back of those instructions are going to be cut guides that show you how to cut your papers down. So I am going to turn off the camera and go cut my papers down, and you can do that, and I will be right back and show you how to put everything together. Hey guys, I'm back, and what I have here is papers that are going to represent my photos on this layout. And the first thing that you're going to do is go ahead and mat these pictures. And I'm actually going to mat the 3 small ones that are going to go on the right hand side of my layout on one solid piece of the matte paper, instead of matting each one individually. So it's almost like a block of paper on there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put these all on one mat and just cut that out. And then I'm gonna mat this 4x6 separately on its own mat. And I'll do that down here. And that's all we use this paper for. This blue paper is just for matting the pictures. So anything that you have left on it, you can use it to make more layouts with this kit when you're done making this one. So you don't need to worry about having a certain dimension left or anything like that. So after we get these matted, we're gonna go ahead and I'm going to show you 2 different, okay, sorry, apparently I can't cut and talk at the same time. So that's scrap. Let me get it. Okay, so these are matted, and we can go ahead and put them off to the side. We're not going to use these right now. What we're going to work on right now is a little bit of mixed media, and we're going to work on the left-hand side of the layout. I'm actually just going to grab one of these long strips and this piece, and I'm not even worried about these 2 pieces quite yet. So I want my navy to be at the top, but if you want your colors to be this way, you can do it this way too, but I want mine to be this way. And I'm going to tear down this side to expose the white core, and I'm right-handed, so I've got to flip it upside down to make that a little easier. And I kind of want this a little jaggedy, like some in, some out. Like I don't want it straight down. I kind of did it too straight at the bottom, so I'm just gonna go in and tear a little more off. See how it's an uneven shape? That's what I want. And that is eventually going to adhere on the layout just like this. But I kind of need to know where that goes, so I'm just gonna keep this here, but scooch it off the edge. So do you see it's over the edge a little? Because I am going to extend these stripes using mixed media. There's a couple different ways you can do this. In my original layout that I have a picture of on the listing of this, and there's going to be pictures at the end of the video, the one that I have my actual photographs on, I used watercolor. On this layout that I'm doing in the video, I'm going to use Distress Oxide ink, but I'm going to show you how to do the watercolor technique first using this piece of paper. So what I grabbed is just one of these watercolor kits. I don't know, it was probably from Michael's or something like that for like $5. And I'm going to grab a water brush, and I'm just going to show you really quickly how I do a couple of the colors. So it's hard, none of these colors exactly match these colors, so I kind of had to mix the colors around to get the right shade. But this one actually looks fairly close to this red. So I'm gonna start with that. And what I did is I like tested it on a side piece, a scrap piece of paper, and yeah, that looks really good. So I'm just gonna go ahead, see how this is off. I'm just gonna go ahead and just paint a little bit. Oh, I should have a splatter mat underneath here of the red. Pretend like this is scrap paper over here, guys, because I'm not really making this into the layout. I'm just showing you. So see, when I move this back over, it covers up all that red that I made. I'm gonna move it back off. This next orange color looks pretty close to this orange. Yeah, I feel like I like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I don't need to mix another color with the orange, but I kind of mix them together where they meet. And I kind of just make the ends a little bit messy. Okay, now I'm gonna get to this peach color, and this color looks pretty close to this peach color. So I'm gonna see, it could have a little bit of pink to it, so I'm just gonna dab it in a little pink, a little bit more. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. So I'm gonna kind of mix it with pink, make sure that I'm getting it blended with that. And then the next color is yellow, but you can see that's a really bright yellow, and this is more of like an orangey yellow. So I'm gonna kind of mix that and that together. Yeah, that's, might need a little darker in there. Yeah, it looks good with that little bit of dark. And then blend them together, and so on and so forth. And I just kind of make sure that they blend from one color to the next. And this is not watercolor paper, so if you mess around with the paper too much, it's gonna start getting like pilling. You can kind of see mine is pilling a little. So what I do after it dries, if it pills, is I just kind of brush off the little pilling part. But I would do that all the way up. Let me do one more color so you get an idea. The green is kind of a yellowish green, so this one kind of with the light yellow. Yeah, that's a better color. You just have to kind of add what color you think is going to go with it. Like what colors you can see in there. I probably could have made that a little more green. Okay. You really wouldn't be using this side as your scrap paper when you're doing this. I'm making kind of a mess here. But anyway, you get the idea. That's how you would do this with watercolor. But if you don't have watercolors, or if you don't like using watercolors, or the idea of mixing the colors together to get what you want is not comfortable for you, then I have went ahead and picked out Distress Oxide ink colors that match. So again, I'm gonna hold this a little bit off to the side, so I know I'm gonna start the color a little bit, you know, I don't wanna get the color on this paper, so I'm gonna start the color a little bit over. And the first color that I used was Lumberjack Plaid. And I'm just gonna take a brush and just brush the color on here. I'm gonna try to not go too far in, like up on the page to this next color, but I do want to go a little bit into where this next color lays so I can blend them together. I'm hoping that is making sense. You could also use swipes of acrylic paint for this, or chalk, or all kinds of different mixed media. So I used lumberjack plaid on the bottom, and I'm using cracking, I always say crackling. It is crackling. Okay, crackling campfire next, and I'm a little bit blending it over the red, and then also just about where this ends. Not too much higher than this line right here, because this pink is real light and I don't want to overwhelm it. And I'm going to come back in and add a little bit red here so it blends. See what I mean? Okay, so I used crackling campfire for the orange color, and then I'm going to get a different brush because that was fine to use the same brush for these two colors, but the rest of the colors are all going to have their own brush. And I'm going to use saltwater taffy for this next stripe. And I start putting it on kind of lightly and then add more as I go. So it's better to put it on light and add more because it's easier than trying to remove it color. And you can end these at different, like, they don't need to end in a straight line here. You can end them jaggedy from each other. Okay, that looks pretty good. And the next color that I'm going to use is fossilized amber for the yellow. I really don't want to speed this part up because it's so much blending and I want you to be able to see what color inks I used. So that's why I'm not really speeding this up. Instead, I'm talking through it. If you feel like you don't need to watch this, then you might want to fast forward this part. But we're about halfway done with this coloring right now. And I just make sure I really blend it from one color to the next. And since the green is next, I can make the yellow go a little bit taller because it will blend really nicely and easily with that green. Okay. And then I used peeled paint for the green. And it's like the perfect match. Some of these matched so perfectly with the Distress Oxide ink colors. I was really excited about that. And then if you want to come back in here, these are activated by water. So you know what? I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to show you a cool thing that I wasn't even planning on doing after I get all these Distress Oxide inks down. And I hope it works. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Next is speckled egg I used. And my speckled egg, I use it so much, it's kind of drying out. I really need to re-ink it, and I have a re-inker. Should have done that before my video. But I love this color. I use it a lot, so I have to re-ink it. It's actually the only re-inker that I own so far. I've never re-inked any of my other colors, but speckled egg, I think it was also one of the first colors that I ever bought. So it's not going to be super dark. It's looking nice. Okay. Neck, I'm going to use the speckled egg again because I couldn't find a great match for this next color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of faded jeans on the bottom. And you can see it's kind of too blue. But I'm hoping when I add some speckled egg over the top, it's going to add a little more green to it. I like mixing these colors together. The Distress Oxide colors. So that was faded jeans. I'm going to attempt to put some speckled egg over the top to kind of tone it down. Make it match this color a little bit better. There might be a color that already matches that really well. I just don't own it. So I kind of had to blend to make my own. Not bad. Okay, and then the last color, I'm also gonna have to blend two colors together because they don't make a navy blue that's quite that dark. So this is what I'm thinking with this last color. I grabbed Chipped Sapphire and Black Soot. I'm gonna start, I think, with the Chipped Sapphire, and I haven't tested this ahead of time, so I hope it works. Chipped Sapphire, yeah, it's gonna be good. And then a little Black Soot over the top. Let me just get this nice and blended first. See how it's just a little too purpley? This makes it like nice. Okay, that's pretty close. Okay, I'm gonna add a little more of this Chipped Sapphire in there so it looks more navy and not so much black. Okay, that's pretty good. So that's how I did the rainbow with the inks, and then I kind of showed you the beginning of how I did it with paints, but you can use any mixed media that you have for this. So then, since this part is done, oh yeah, the water. So I'm thinking that I'm just gonna grab my water brush and squeeze some water into the tip and do splatters. Because the splatters activate this Distress Oxide ink. And you're gonna be able to see them really showing up, almost like, it's almost like they took away the ink. I think you can see it activating like real time here on this video, because the longer it sits, the more I can see the splatters, kind of like that. So that's something you can do with Distress Oxide ink on any of your layouts that you are using it for the background like that. Ooh, it looks so cool. I hope you guys can see that. I'm pretty sure you can. And it's almost dry already too. I live in the desert, it dries quick. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and adhere these things down, because this paper is going to go right here, right overlapping the edges of what I've painted. And then this paper will go right here. Okay. And we can actually start on, you can put both pieces out here so we can kind of get the background of everything kind of laid out. Let me make sure this is all on screen, which I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. And then you can go ahead and we're gonna lay it out like this. And like this. And like this. I've lost my other papers. Where did they go? I set them off to the side because I said we don't need them yet, and I don't know where I set them. Oh, I found them. Okay, so this is pretty much, scooch this over a little. This is how the layout is gonna come together. So I am going to go ahead and start adhering the layers. And I'm going to start with the bottom layer. And I'm keeping both pages here on camera so you can see the seam in the page. So I'm matching up both sides on that seam. Okay. Go ahead and adhere these. These are easy because they just line up right against the edge. And I want to make sure they're going the same direction from dark blue to red. And then I can go ahead and put this one down. Okay. And then this background piece, it goes over the seams. Do you see what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and trim right there. Like right after this little teacup is right where I'm gonna trim. And I'm gonna do that now because it's easier to do that now than if I adhere it down first. I just didn't put that cut in the cutting instructions because you might need to adjust it a little depending on what size pictures you're using. If your pictures aren't the same size as me, you might need to scoot that to the left or the right a little to make everything line up and fit. Okay, I feel like I've got this going good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adhering everything else down. This layout comes together pretty quick after the mixed media portion. And then there's a lot of little embellishments on this guy. Again, I'm gonna keep these lined up so I have it matching across the seam of both pages. And this one too. And this paper, this whole layout, it's so versatile. All the little sayings and all of the different embellishments and stickers and die cuts, they could be used for just about anything. They're generic enough that it works for a lot of different pictures. In my layout that I originally made, it was about snacks and food because there was some food type icons on here, but there's also books and a play. It could be music or video game or TV or movies. You know, it's all kinds of different day-to-day, everyday life type sayings and icons on this. Okay guys, so this is the base of the layout. I'm gonna move the right-hand side and we're just gonna work on the left-hand side and get the embellishments down. I did all the embellishing very much coordinating with the rainbow color, and I used some dimensional adhesive. So I went in here and I just picked out things that were the same color as some of these stripes that I wanted to use. And I didn't want to use all of them. I didn't just want a whole bunch. So I just picked out a couple for this side. And then I picked out stickers that also matched the color, you know, like almost like a rainbow just moving over. I know there's no purple, but it's okay. That's approximately where the purple, oops. And this one particular really matched my pictures. When in doubt, eat sweets. So I had to include that. Today's adventure, like this goes really well with this navy colored stripe. It's kind of hard putting these on straight when I'm sitting down and not standing up over my layout, but I'm doing the best that I can to get them on straight here. Sorry if they're a little crooked. But yeah, there's so many colors and so many different phrases. You don't need to use, obviously, the same stickers that I used. And I popped this one up on foam tape for a little dimension there. Whoa! This guy, I didn't want it to say right now, so I cut it in half and I turned it upside down. I'll show you. I cut it in half. I only used this half, but I flipped it upside down. And then I covered up that little saying with another embellishment in a second. You'll see when I get to there. First, I'm just doing the stickers, and then I'm gonna go back in with the die cut pack and add it in. It's just easier for me to just do one pack at a time for your video. But I love how it just went all the way down the rainbow. Okay, I do use a couple more stickers, but they overlap over these. So let's see. Like, you can see that a lot of these will match. Like, I used today up here and I popped it up. And all I did, if you don't want to use the same ones that I'm using, if you want to use your own, the way I planned it is I just laid the things out. I didn't adhere them down until I was completely sure what I wanted where. And I even cut around, like I cut the sticker out here, so I could know without sticking it down. I just did it like this and laid it down to make sure that's what I wanted where. So, oh, I put Enjoy in here, and I put Enjoy was just right here. This is looking like it's really simple because I'm copying off the layout that I already designed once, you know. It did not go this quickly when I was making this layout. Noted. This one I'm gonna pop up on adhesive. So yeah, I laid everything out by color without sticking anything down, and it took me a while. I rearranged quite a bit, and I needed the words to also make sense with my pictures. So let's see. Come on, I know I got more words that I used. There are so many die cuts in there. I think there's 45 words in this title, die cuts. But see how that covered right up the word that was sticking out there. I put the little hay up here. Yeah, and sometimes two colors kind of matched, like the green and this green kind of both matched. So I wanted to use both of them, so I did. And it's so funny how these are different lines. Like all of these, this is a Simple Stories life captured line. This paper of the rainbow is a Simple Stories cat line. And then the pink fresh paper. It's not even simple stories at all, but I love when they use, you know, similar tones, because then they can just mix and match right across the different lines, so you can mix things together. Okay, I think this is it. Yep, and then I have to come back in and add a couple. Okay, I added this little today down here. It overlaps. And then the word happiness. 24/7 overlaps. And then I'm gonna come in and go ahead and glue down my patches. And I use Eileen's Tacky Glue because it seems to hold fabric really, like fabric-y elements on layouts really nicely. So that's how I glued those down. And this one doesn't want to stick. What is happening here? The middle doesn't want to stick down. There we go. And this is pretty much the left-hand side of this page. I don't have a big title on my layout because all of these little words work together to kind of create all kinds of little mini titles and phrases. So I'm going to set this one off to the side, and I'm going to show you how I embellished the right-hand side of the layout. I kind of did the same thing. I started with this scrap. It was the back, it was the top that you cut off of this piece, and I cut out this So Happy Together label. But you've got a lot of labels, you've got a few other labels to choose from that might match your pictures better. But my picture was just one person, so they weren't happy together because it was just one person. So I did a little creative covering. I'll show you what I mean. So I put this here, and then I didn't want it to say So Happy Together. I just wanted it to say So Happy. So I put that right over, just like that. So it covers up the word together under there. And then I've got this guy going over there. I want him over a little bit. I did that wrong because I still want to be able to read this word noted. Thankfully, these stickers are forgiving. Oh man, if I could just do this today in the right place, that would be nice. Here we go. And then this word yes, I popped up on foam tape. And then after I finish getting the rest of this little embellishment cluster put together for you, I want to let you know, or not after I do it, right now, I want to let you know that if you do not follow us on our Facebook group, our Not Just for Boys Kit Club community, you should follow us there, because our design team is going to post layouts that they made with this kit, but their layouts are going to be unique to them. Like, they didn't do this layout the way that I'm doing it. They made their own design with the same supplies. So it gives you inspiration. What in the world is going on? There it is. He's hiding. It gives you inspiration how to use this kit in other ways besides this way, if you don't want to do it this way. And I stamped the date right here in my other layout, in my original layout that you'll see on the close-up pictures. And you can add journaling, you know, anywhere where there's some space on this layout. I usually add my journaling in typed strips of paper, and I don't add it until after I post pictures online because sometimes it might be info that is too personal of my kids or whatever, so I don't add my journaling until after I post the pictures. But yeah, this is this side. You guys have so many pieces left over. I already made another layout using this kit, so I'll share that on our Facebook group as well. But you've got lots of pieces. You've got quite a bit of paper left still. Got a whole little stack of paper over there that's still left. I hope that you had fun putting this one together. I hope that you had fun with the mixed media, and I really like that water that I splashed on there. I'm glad that that worked out and that you can see it on there. But I hope you have fun with this. I'm gonna show close-ups of this at the end of the video. There's also close-up still pictures of this on our listing on the website, which the link will also be at the end of this video. Even if it sells out, we'll still have the pictures posted there so you can refer to them when you're making this. But thank you guys so much and have a good day. Bye.